Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Thank you, Kirby, for the reminder to turn my notification off on my email that says I'm on holidays, although I might keep it on for another week. Just saying. I know it says I'm back on Jan 6.
That's the mistake, though, is that you gave a date. If you would have just said, gone
holidays.
for the holidays, then you probably could have left it on a lot longer.
Right.
I really don't want to tell people how many emails we will be inundated with for another week after the Christmas break.
They just pour in. Oh, my God. Hey,
The bone phone was stacked. I did see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, over the holidays because we've been gone for a bit here. The bone phone will always pack up. We'll get to that in 10 minutes. It's good to be back, though, man. I tell you that it just felt like we take this, like a lot of people, we take this time of year off. I feel like every year, but it just felt longer this year.
Yeah, the school break is usually what it is, right? 2 weeks, but it did feel like a long time. I'll tell you, I went right off the grid. Cross-country skiing and snowboarding and all that stuff.
And you have no injuries to show for it.
Some big cottage out in the woods.
I saw
nothing.
Joe cross-country skiing right in front of me in
the
Canterbury
city.
Park.
In Transcona, he made his way from Charleswood.
Yeah, he goes.
It's a long way
Wow,
around, but I'll tell you,
Joe.
Curbs, you take that right turn at the perimeter from Charleswood. It gets you right. It eases you right into Transcona. I've left the tracks. Go look for him.
Guy's an Olympian. He's got a gun on his back. He's shooting targets. He's all over the city.
It's unbelievable.
No, it was a good break. It was. Yeah, but it's good to be back.
Somebody all over Kirby right off the hop here this morning on the Boston Pizza text line. Curbs, you owe me the 1 hour and 59 minutes I had to suffer through watching Carry On. What a waste of time.
I can't please everyone.
I did
okay?
watch it too.
You watched it as well.
Did you watch it,
And?
Phil?
I did not. No.
I thought it was okay. I gave it about like a 50%.
50.
Yeah. I did. I'll be honest. It was over the holidays. It filled a void of time because it had a Christmas kind of theme, and there was a lot of talk and buzz about it. But when I ended up watching it, it wouldn't have. It wasn't one of my favorite. It wasn't like a Die Hard, an action Christmas type of movie. There was some moments in it I thought were pretty good, but there was also some hokey moments where you have to suspend disbelief.
Kirby, didn't you have it painted as like the movie of the century?
I did not say it was the movie of the century.
Oh, my God. If you watch one movie in the next 25 years, this has to be it. Wasn't that something?
I just thought it was really good. And it's been a while since I've seen a really good movie. But then I was also telling Joe about something I watched over the Christmas break as well. It's a movie directed by Clint Eastwood, and it's called Juror Number 2, and it's on Apple. And it's also good.
Yeah.
Like better than Carry On, or in the same? Is it also the movie
I'm
of the
only
century?
giving suggestions. You can't take my personal preference as like the be all and end all.
You saw Absolution, JoJo.
Yeah, I paid to
Liam.
watch it too.
You paid?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, like
It ain't cheap right now.
$6.99 or something,
Yeah.
or $10. I don't know.
And
it was not worth the $10.
No,
You know what? I'll tell you, there's moments in the movie I thought were pretty cool, and I guess in the back of my head, knowing that Liam is probably not going to do more, quote, action movies, I romanticized about that a bit. So I gave it a better mark than Carry On. I'd say it was about a 7.
I don't know if he's not. He says he's not doing them anymore, right?
Yeah, he
Like,
says that
okay.
might have been it for those types of movies.
I feel like
He's probably going to move into the romance genre soon.
Oh, please
Wow.
not.
The rom-coms.
Why would you go there? No, I don't think.
He did one already. He did Love Actually. That
I
was
know.
enough.
I think he's going to make a splash in his older age in the rom-coms.
I think he goes back to doing more of the serious roles.
I
To
can
be
see
honest,
that.
like he was in Schindler's List, that kind of stuff. Whatever there might be for a 70-year-old actor out there.
He's got the Naked Gun franchise.
Yeah.
They're rebooting that with him. If that works
That's
out,
right.
that could be
That's
3
this
movies
summer.
right there. Okay, it is, as Kirby said. Good to be back from some time off. Let us know how your holidays were. Boston Pizza text line 762-555, and we'll get to the bone phone in like 5 minutes.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Call the Bone Phone. 780-BONE. Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
Hey guys, Joel here. Just want to wish you a Happy New Year and another new year with the best morning crew ever. Take care.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Joel. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. And you know what? On that same Just rattle off another one here, kind of the same tone.
Hi guys, the Wall Trading Call. It's Saturday night, and I can hardly wait until Monday. It's almost like Christmas again to hear you guys when you get off your holidays, so you can tell us all your stories about what you did. Okay, bye.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wish everybody a happy New Year.
Okay.
I don't.
I haven't said that to anybody yet.
I don't. That's where you and I differ.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. It's January 6th, and you have not told anybody. Happy New Year since
know.
New Year's Eve. I don't believe that for a second. It's back, baby! It's back! In 6 days. Well, I guess 7. You have not told anybody Happy New Year.
I did not. So I waited to tell everybody today, Joe.
Did anybody tell you Happy New Year? You
No.
didn't? Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, I feel like...
strangers don't really greet you with Happy
Sure
New
they
Year.
do. I was using
wondering,
it.
How long do you keep dropping it? Like, I said it to our engineer this morning. I had to call him, and Happy New Year. It's
How late do you drop it?
like how much...
One of us is just starting it.
Kirby hasn't said it to anybody
I'm
yet.
saying it until February, okay?
Well, you're a late bloomer.
You gotta make up for lost time. Here's a professor.
Good morning, PJK. Wife and I are sitting in the Air Canada lounge waiting for our flight, so by the time you hear this, we'll be sitting on a beach in Mexico somewhere. But I just wanted to say welcome back. We've all missed you. It'll be good to hear your banter on the radio again every morning. And Winnipeg, the New Year, remember, gratitude is like gravy. You put that shit on every day.
I love that.
He takes a trip this time every year, right, Professor?
Yes, yeah, like many others. But I'll tell you, if you traveled at all during the holidays, and many of us did, I hope he's in Mexico. I don't know when that message came in, but there were flight delays. And here's what the airlines do now that is so interesting, because everybody thinks you're in for a payday if your flight gets delayed or canceled and everything else. That's the last thing they're going to do, because now they actually send you a text with the right verbiage to basically tell you it's not their fault.
Yes.
So you get a text now to operational stuff that's out of our control. This went on, and so everybody I know that flew this had a delay of some sort.
I had a delay coming back to Winnipeg from Edmonton. Yeah.
From Edmonton.
On Saturday.
So are those staffing? Like, sorry, I don't. You
Yeah,
guys
I
know,
believe
I
it
don't-
is.
I don't fly a lot. Is it staffing?
I believe a lot of it right now is the fact that you have people on holidays. They're overworked, and they're only allowed to work so many hours at some of those jobs, and they make up other reasons for the delays. But there was some major delays from people I heard, and as simple as domestic flights here in Canada alone, never mind going overseas or anything.
Dennis the Menace, angry about fire lanes in front of. We've talked about this a lot on the show.
Good morning, PJK. I know you guys are away, probably have a whole lot of phone calls to go through.
I did, yeah.
But sitting in front of Freshco, and I just felt required to post this, throw this out there. It takes a special kind of lazy douchebag to park in the fire lane in front of Freshco when there's literally an open spot to park about 30 feet away. How lazy are you?
You see it every time you go to the grocery store, though.
I do want to say, though, I did see somebody using the fire lane recently at a grocery store to let out their elderly parent.
Oh, that's
like
fine.
so that they're closer to the door.
Yeah, that's
fine.
not this
Yeah,
call.
I'm guessing that's not this case. But, you know,
No,
in
it's
that
not.
case, they're not sitting there. They're just, you know.
No, he's talking about the people that actually park there, and you can't really get a good look at their face because they're facing the wall sort of the building.
No
They're
eye
so
contact.
close to so no eye contact.
Yeah, nobody's heckling people letting out seniors, Kurt.
No.
What are you doing?
Come on, you get over here.
You're gonna let your senior citizen mother out of the car, you a-hole?
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Philly Joe and Kirby's Entertainment Rundown.
On this day in 2015, The Revenant was released with Leonardo DiCaprio. Great movie, but I think most well known for that bear attack scene. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I'd say the script was unbelievable too.
There was a lot of that.
You know what? I actually enjoyed the movie.
It was good.
Yeah,
I thought the
just
whole
intense.
concept was very intense. Yeah.
I just said it was a great movie, but that bear attack scene was like famous because it was so realistic, like unbelievable. And I also want to throw out there that over the holidays, we all binged our certain programs. I finally watched the first season of True Detective with McConaughey and Harrelson. I don't know why. I don't know why I'd never watched it, but I'd heard such good things about it, and man, is it outstanding. So
Isn't
now,
Archives great when it comes to streaming now and shows?
so nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and when you can just binge, like I binged it hard late at night, and I enjoyed it. It was so good.
I remember having to like borrow like a DVD box set from somebody if I wanted to get in on a show, you know? Like
And those DVD box sets were expensive.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's why you would display them in your living room all the time.
Now I got to move on to apparently, Kirby, you were saying skip season 2 of True Detective.
Yeah, it's not
and
the greatest.
You're not the first person who said that, but then I guess seasons, 3 and 4 are very good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Phil, you're a fan of this show, The Littlest Hobo.
Oh, come on.
You
Classic.
can binge that.
A German Shepherd running from town to town solving crimes.
Okay, well, it is a piece of Canada's, history of television, and a lot of people are calling for The Littlest Hobo to be recognized with a star on Canada's Walk of Fame. So you can actually go to change.org and sign this petition that has quite a few signatures to have this happen.
Can you send it to me? I would have that.
You're gonna sign that petition?
That has to happen.
Okay.
I love petitions.
It is an iconic Canadian program, though, for sure. Speaking of Canada, WWE Raw on Netflix. Tonight it debuts. There's been a lot of hype about this. And, of course, all WWE programming is now on Netflix. But they've already put up in the archives all the Royal Rumbles. If you want to check some of that out. But tonight's going to be a big night. 4 matches on the card, apparently. And John Cena starts his farewell tour tonight. So check it out on Netflix tonight, WWE Raw.
So it's what a beautiful situation there. It's all on Netflix. I watched WrestleMania 1 over the holidays.
Yeah.
All the WrestleManias
and they're
are there.
adding more archives or more stuff from the archives as time goes on. But interestingly enough, if you were a hardcore wrestling fan, you were paying up to $19.99 or $19.99 a month for the WWE Network. So you're actually saving money now if you have a Netflix account already.
It's so great. I found it hilarious watching the production values of WrestleMania 1.
For sure.
What year was that?
Oh, Joe.
Oh, God,
80s.
now. Yeah, it was
Early
84,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that would have
83.
been something to see for sure.
And the main event, Joe will know this, but it was Hogan and Mr. T against Roddy Piper.
And Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff.
And they had Cowboy Bob Orton in their corner.
Ace Orton. Cowboy.
so good.
The first year. Wow, yeah, that's, I can't even remember the year. 84? 83? 85.
85?
Yep, 85.
Wow.
And Kirby, since you brought up Littlest Hobo,
Oh,
I want to play the theme song here a little bit, and I want you
German
to...
Shepherd, right?
Yes.
There's a voice.
Yes.
I always wanted to be this dog's friend. Well, it was sad. He would leave the town. I'd always be like, come on, stay this time.
The show wouldn't have lasted.
I know.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Oh, it's good to be back. I think, do you think, what are the percentages of people who were back last week? Because I know I was moaning, and so were the kids. Oh, I'm back to school. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, I got to set my alarm for 3:30 for tomorrow morning. And then my wife's like, yeah, I was back last week. So there's a segment of the workforce that was back last week, and then there's a lot back today.
Yeah, there's quite a few people working last week for sure. I'm just kind of surprised because you and the kids are sitting there grumbling and your wife's looking at you all going, hey, stupid.
She basically said that.
This person right here in your own house was working last week. What world are you guys living in?
We're
The
trying.
one who's running the household, basically.
We've been out on pajamas for 2 straight weeks. Like, hey, we're trying to complain here. We're going back at it tomorrow.
There's been no laundry for 2 weeks in the house because everybody's been wearing the same outfit except your poor wife.
Who's back at it? Yeah. Yeah. And then, Kirby, you were asking an interesting question. Are all the Christmas decorations put away?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the first things I flew back to Winnipeg from Alberta on Saturday. I took them down on Sunday morning. And then I was reading this morning, though, about this 90-day rule when it comes to Christmas lights, like on the house. Apparently, you've got 90 days after Christmas to take them down.
Yeah, I don't buy that one.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. My wife had Christmas wrapped up on Boxing Day.
Some people are like that, literally.
Yeah.
The
My
moment
wife,
Christmas is over, it's
same
like,
thing.
yeah.
But she asked me about lights. The other day we were going somewhere, and she goes, you think we should unplug the lights? I said, it takes forever to put them up, and it's still cold. And January, it's still a winter wonderland out here in Manitoba. So I said, no, let's keep them plugged in.
I don't mind.
I don't buy.
Our stay.
They're not going to be on in June.
No.
But for the winter, I keep them up.
They'll stay up for, and most of our street will be that way.
Well, who the hell wants to get up on a ladder at minus 34 to go, there's a 90-day rule?
Kirby said.
Because out of all the rules, I'm going to follow traffic, lights, that kind of stuff. Christmas light, 90-day rule. I don't give in to too many, but that one, I'm going to follow.
Well, Kirby, we were surprised to hear that you hadn't wished one person Happy New Year until this morning.
I did it, and you guys are the first.
That's crazy.
I'm not buying it, but okay.
I've been dropping Happy New Year's
yes.
to every stranger.
I always forget. Like even yesterday when I was filling out something, I was like 2024. Oops, I mean 5.
Yeah, that's the whole different. That's an apple and orange situation there. That's writing the check. But let me ask you this. You were away on New Year's.
Yeah.
For New Year's Eve, you were with some family members.
Yeah.
And you are telling me whether it was 9 o'clock you went to bed, that'd be an extension of your night. 10, 11, 12. There was no one that you mentioned, hey, Happy New Year on that day.
You know,
I don't know how drunk you were, but
Come on.
I don't recall.
Everybody's yelling, Happy New Year.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it until I see Philly and Joe.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
You should, Joe. You should start a journal in 2025.
Yeah, that was Kirby's suggestion.
Kirby off air telling Joe that he needs to start journaling, and I said, Kirby, do you like handwrite your journal, or do you is it on a laptop or something? And you handwrite in that bad boy.
Yeah, and it's all about the pen. You have to have a really good pen.
Oh, you got to have a good pen.
Yeah.
But I suggested I type mine out.
Old school typewriter.
Old school. You said I need to let my feelings out on a daily basis.
It's good, yeah.
And I said the typewriter was the way to go for me. Just rolling the paper through and then...
You would not get very far.
I have to check the spelling error.
You type with 2 fingers on a keyboard.
2 fingers with my right hand, 1 finger with my left.
Okay, so you got 3 fingers on the go.
2 index fingers and this finger right here, Kirby.
Oh, yes, okay.
Well, you did joke. You joked on the show that you were cross-country skiing.
Yeah.
At least I don't want to sell you short. I assumed that was sarcasm, that you hadn't started cross-country skiing over the holidays, Joe.
My holidays were perfect. I saw a lot of family and friends over the holidays. I had a couple of buddies in town, actually, this year, which is weird. And then I ended up in Las Vegas, which is my favorite place to be, for New Year's.
I can't believe you went to Vegas.
I'll tell you, it felt like a long 2 weeks of holidays. I mean, long in a good way. I always miss doing the show because it's fun.
You
obviously,
also had the largest family gathering over Christmas that I've ever seen.
Yeah, there were 65 of us.
Like, that is crazy.
Every year.
Yeah.
December 27th is the Yellow Christmas Cousins get-together. But honestly, I just found the holidays were a long time. Like, it feels like I haven't seen you guys in a long time.
It did
Are
feel...
you trying to say that you missed us?
I am.
Yeah, that's how
hey,
he says it.
I typed it in my journal, so it must be real.
You're probably still working on it.
Yeah,
I miss
am.
Kirby so much.
I screwed up on getting the paper through the reel here.
I will say this about the holidays, and I'm right there with you, Joe. Like, a lot of family had... I really always enjoy the Christmas holidays.
Well, you hosted one party. I saw a lot of people at your house.
Yeah, I had the family over for Christmas Eve. Oof, that was fun. But I just find it, and I don't want to contradict what you're saying, but Christmas holiday, like when it's over, it was like, wow, where did that go? Christmas is done just like that. So, and then you're taking the Christmas decorations down, and it's always kind of like, oh, God, now winter's going to set in. And because what's next? What are you looking forward to now? Spring, really? I don't know.
Valentine's Day in February. Just kidding.
Oh, wow. I was going to go with Louis Riel weekend in the long weekend. But Valentine's Day is a week earlier. So, yes.
And Curbs, you were in Alberta, and you admitted it. It felt like a long time you were there.
Mainly because I was with my brother for a few days, too long maybe. They all went back to work, and I kind of was just hanging out with the dogs. So.
I told you before the holiday started, that seemed like a long time to be away from home.
But
you
it was
shot your
nice.
shot early.
Yeah.
You went like on the 21st.
Yeah.
You were out of
It was a
town.
nice break, though, to see family and, get out and see some people that I haven't seen in a long time.
When you're visiting, because Joe and I both admitted we take a lot of naps over the holidays.
Oh.
Like, it's one of the nicest things. You start watching a show, next thing you know,
Yeah.
on the couch. But when you're visiting with people, you can't really, are you having naps in the afternoon like that?
My excuse would always be like, I'm just going to go lay down for a little bit and listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
And then it was like, my brother would come in and be like, you're sleeping. You're having a nap.
I'm sure, Phil, you got the same deal I did when by about day 2 or 3 of naps, I got the look of, you haven't done anything in the last 2 or 3 days. Why are you warranting a nap when my wife was doing everything?
Because I'm exhausted. All
I'm
right.
exhausted from
You
doing
need to have an
nothing.
excuse to have a nap.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
It is nice. It's nice to take a break, and I find, a lot of people, if you can do it, it's a great time of year to take a break.
Yeah, a lot of people away too.
Yeah.
So
And then there's those who are like, I'm done seeing my family. Like, I need, that's enough. Kids got to go back to school. Enough of this visiting, enough Christmas parties, enough Christmas baking.
And
For me,
here
it was
we
the
are.
Food. Like, I'm so ready for just healthiness,
Oh, yeah.
Like, my body, I had a protein shake this morning, and it was like, thank God.
Uh-huh. Yeah, right. That's not always
Really?
so many butter tarts you
my
can eat.
body's never said that about a protein shake. Thank God. Salad. Healthy food.
That's PJK Extra.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Joe, I don't want to put you on the spot with this question, but I'm going to anyway.
Oh.
I remember when we were in Osborne Village.
Yeah.
Of course, we've moved. We're on Square Field now, our 92.1 City Studios. That there was a street light out in the back alley of our offices in Osborne Village, and you went to work getting that street light replaced.
You know who helped us out?
Was it Dennis the Menace?
Dennis the Menace on the bone phone took care of it for us. It was a back lane. It was more of a safety issue, I thought, than it was going to be a traffic issue because it was a back lane.
Mm-hmm.
But that light served as obviously better security for the area.
It was super dark without it.
Right. And Dennis the Menace heard us talking about it one morning, and
He knew the proper
through
channels.
texting, yeah.
So there's a street light out right in front of my house in wonderful Canterbury Park, and I'm like, my wife's like, I don't like that, and I'm like, you know what? I know a guy. Joe Aiello dealt with this. He sent it. So do I start by calling 311? Is that, or do you have to call Hydro, or what happens?
No, that's a hydro issue.
You gotta
So
put
you
out
go
a
online.
symbol, like the bat symbol, for Dennis the Menace. You gotta like put out a symbol in the sky, and then he will come.
A D.
Listen,
A DM.
I'm going to be honest with you. That should be something I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you what you need to do is you just text him because he's on the Boston Pizza text line
He calls the bone phone all the time.
and the bone phone. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to go online right now, Manitoba Hydro,
Okay.
and you fill out the form on what the street light
forms. Not good
is
at
in the
forms.
corner.
Phil
No, it's
loves
easy.
forms.
It's an easy online thing. Or you just get a hold of Dennis the Menace. By the time you set up the bat light and everything, it's going to take time. And I know you don't like to spend that much time doing that.
I don't love forms, but I'm glad, Joe, that you've pointed me in the right direction because you notice that stuff right away. It's amazing when a street light goes out.
Makes
know
a
me.
difference.
I spend a lot of time looking out the front window.
You
I'm
need a
that guy.
clear view. I understand.
I have to see everything that's going on. If somebody is parked on my street that I don't recognize, I gotta know. My wife was bugging me about how much time I spend looking out that front window
You should get your own tickets made up, like a little booklet of tickets with notes, and then you just go and put one on the windshield of somebody.
My own tickets. community
hell is
concern.
this?
You don't have to.
It's written in crayon.
You just put it would have to be. But put Canterbury Park, right? Commissioner on the top, and then you just have to sign off on the bottom with a scribble. No one would know.
It's a I don't know you ticket. I'm what are you doing parking on my street?
I can't wait to have fake parking tickets in my news out of Transcona.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Those are the numbers. Those are the stats. Those are the studies that people missed about this show while we were on holidays, Joe. 92.1 City, PJK. Back at it, 7:35. The loaf of bread. And Kirby, you're right. We've talked about this before on the show. But, Joe, I didn't realize the numbers were that staggering.
I think it stuck out in my head because I opened the fridge this morning, and the first thing I saw was a fresh loaf of bread.
In the fridge, too.
I put it in the fridge.
You do.
Yeah,
Keeps it fresher.
Yeah, and there was two little remnants from 2 bags ago, and they're just the heels, the 2 end pieces.
Crust.
And I like those toasted. Got to put a lot of butter on those babies. But anyway, 90% of people skip that first slice of bread because they consider it to be the ugly slice.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the bread, because my sister-in-law just sent 2 loaves home with me from Alberta. She bakes. And she makes sourdough, so she always sends home like fresh sourdough with me, and I'll eat the ends of that.
Well, sourdough bread.
Different crusty.
It's just, it's better.
You're not leaving sourdough stragglers. That's a whole different.
I think they're talking more of that sliced bread loaf.
Yeah, like
here.
the plain old bag
or
of bread.
rye bread.
Bag of bread. Yeah.
That's what they sell it as. Plain old bread. There you go.
No, I'm leaving that too. I'm not touching the crust unless if you're desperate. Like in my bachelor days, I mean, that's a different story. But nowadays, and it's a staring contest. Who's going to eat that little bit of bread that's left?
It's the same thing when I go to the grocery store and I always grab from the back of something, like the bagged salad. Like, I don't grab the first one that's displayed. I reach to the very back. I don't know what it is.
Not supposed to do that.
I know, but
That's
I always
food waste.
feel like that's going to be your freshest bag.
What does that have to do with the first slice of bread or the last slice? It's the same loaf.
I don't like reaching from the front. I like grabbing in the middle or the back.
Hold on, here we go. Let's order a loaf of bread. Take half of it out so Kirby can have her 2 pieces of bread, then put it back in there. It's 2 different things.
The salad and the bread.
I think that there's a lot of things that we do that don't make sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, the crust of bread, it creates a different, like a different sandwich. You're eating. You don't want crust for a sandwich.
You have to toast it. No one is eating.
I agree.
The heel of the bread dry.
Yeah.
Like that would cause.
Look
chance
at
of
this.
choking.
See, is it just me? This is on the Boston Pizza text line, or are the heels getting larger on loaves of bread? It's like
Thicker.
they purposely thicker. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like they purposely do it so you get less slices. # bread conspiracy.
You know what, though? This person on the Boston Pizza text line says the heel is the best part for dipping in stews.
Oh.
And I see that because it would soak up a lot, or French onion soup, somebody says here, Kim. Yeah, I could see that. But then again, Curbs, that covers us off, too, because you're either dipping it or you're toasting it, right?
Yeah.
Like chili. Chili, it would work, too.
By the way, Melissa, who asked me this morning how the beef stew that she made for me was, like before Christmas, it was dynamic. But I didn't dip any crust bread in it, but it was very good. Just throwing that out there.
No
Thank you,
kidding.
Melissa.
You know
The
what?
stew
I'm
was
glad you
amazing.
told me, because I was honestly thinking about you and that stew for the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. You were wondering how it went.
I was wondering. Yeah. Almost called you, but I didn't.
Well, I was wondering how you pick salad in the grocery store. So we're
when we're talking about loaves of bread.
so we're even. We're even.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
If you ordered a sandwich at a restaurant and it came with 2 heels, like 2 slices, the 2 slices of bread were heels for bread, would you return it?
Yes.
I don't think so.
What kind of low-end sandwiches?
I don't know.
I think I would.
I might just look at it as, oh, wow, okay, this restaurant serves their bread differently, especially if it's a place that makes the bread in-house.
Okay, fair.
Because it'd be like a bun.
But okay, I was just telling you guys this off air. I am the person that goes to a place like Subway, and if they put like a weird looking tomato on my sandwich that's like towards the end of the tomato,
You don't want it.
I say, can I please have a different slice of tomato?
Sure.
Because I don't know. I don't want a gross looking sandwich.
You're paying good money for that sandwich. If you don't want the end of a tomato on it, then that's your right. When you leave, they're like, "Oh my god."
I guess if you go to this restaurant,
I don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, guaranteed that's the look for sure.
The eyes roll.
But if you're talking bread, for example, you can bring it up to the server and say, "Whoa, like I was expecting, I was
Low on
expecting,
bread.
yeah, I was expecting 2 slices of bread. That this looks like 2 ends." And they might say, "Well, that's what we serve here." Mm-hmm. You never know. Like I said, it could be a bun type of situation.
I would say you better be known for that. Like,
Yes.
hey, have you been to Big Larry's restaurant? They serve you the
Texas toast.
the
You know,
crust. Yeah, right.
Yes, the big thick
Place called
slice.
Heels.
Heels,
Yes.
right? It's called heels. It better be on the menu that they give you heels, like because
Right.
otherwise it's just going to look strange if you get
I'll tell you when I don't mind the 2 heels. If it was something like a grilled cheese, believe it or not, I like a sandwich like that, or I melt something in the middle of it. I don't mind it being 2 heels.
Again, it has to be toasted. Like
Yes,
if you're
always.
gonna eat a heel, it has to be toasted. If a sandwich
of
comes
peanut butter.
out, like it,
You're not eating bread and butter with just the
no,
heel.
nobody is serving. Like, what are you gonna say? How would you like your sandwich? I don't know, 2 pieces of bread from not
Well-
the ends of the loaf.
I will tell you this, though. When my mom was around and she would bake bread, I would love the heel with just like some warm butter. Like it would just melt
Fresh
right on the
baked?
bread. Yeah. Like then the heel didn't matter to me.
Why don't you start baking bread like your mom used
You
to?
thought about it.
How nice would that be
Thought
if you're
about
bringing
it.
in fresh bread for
I
the
remember
show?
when the bread makers were a big thing, right? Before the
Oh,
George
yeah.
Foreman grill, it was like the next best invention.
My
And
dad was all over.
Great
those.
gift
Yeah.
idea.
You make one
making.
loaf a day. It would take all day to make a loaf of bread, right? But the house would smell great for a week.
Oh,
because
fresh
it made
bread.
like 7 at a time.
Got to be
He
one
would
of the best
send me to
smells.
school with bread for my teacher. He'd be
And
like,
she
I made
loved it.
Yeah, but I'd be like, why? Like, I'm on a school bus with a fresh loaf of
bread.
bread to bring to my
Just-
teacher.
Teaching
Most
you how to
popular
kiss ass.
student.
Teaching you how to kiss ass. Yeah, you're gonna learn how to suck up.
There you go. My dad made you a loaf of
And
bread.
that's how I graduated.
Yeah, no
Everybody
doubt.
else in the class is like, "Who's his kiss ass?"
That's great. Most brought their teachers like Tim Hortons gift cards and that, not curbs. A loaf of bread.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Hey, as we get rolling again this morning, 92.1 City, PJK. Got a few shout-outs that have slipped through the cracks. How can we let Bob Bird slip through the cracks, man? Welcome back from holidays. This is from Bob Bird on the Boston Pizza text line. Welcome back from holidays, everybody at 92. Like to give a big shout-out to the Selkirk Fishermen. U18A1 team went down to Morden, went undefeated, and brought back gold. Yeah. says
Well,
Bob.
Nicely
the
done.
U18s, that would be a good tournament.
Sure would. Congratulations to the Selkirk Fishermen, U18A1s. And then Zimmer. Did you know Zimmer was injured?
Zimmer got injured.
Okay,
I
well,
feel like he would have told you.
well here it is. Welcome back, 92 crew. Happy effing New Year as I get into week 3 of a slipped disc.
Ooh, ouch.
Well, that's the wrong guy to get a slip disc. This guy's like a man on a mission with every project. Right? He he retired. Mm-hmm. Got a nice property out, I think it's Traverse Bay, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
moved out there, so he was doing a lot of work. And slip disc too.
Yeah, that's painful. So good luck with that, Zim. I imagine he's driving his wife crazy because he can't do as much. Normally, right? He's out doing, you nailed it. He's out doing projects and everything
Yeah.
else. He's probably sitting on his ass watching sports.
Not
Annoying.
anymore. Now he's on his side.
He's resting.
Oh, man. So, yeah, you know what? It's a fun morning. Getting back at it. Lots of text messages. We appreciate it all. All the Happy New Year wishes, especially for Kirby, who hadn't wished anybody a Happy New Year yet.
I saved it
Yep.
just for today.
Yeah, and somebody on the text line says vacation. So many got married. Yeah, that over the holidays too.
Oh,
That's
I did
right.
see a few, yeah, and engagements over
Yeah,
Christmas.
you won't
as
get
well.
any kind of any welcomes or anything from Kirby for 6 days after. We just found that out. It's the
I'm
new
on a
New Year's.
6-day delay.
Yeah, 6-day delay. It's what it's called here. If you missed it earlier, Kirby came up with this one at about 6:10 this morning that she saved, saying Happy New Year to Phil and I.
Yeah, you guys are the first people I said it
she
to.
did.
Said it.
January 6th.
I've been saying it to everybody I run into. So is Joe.
Yeah.
Kirby, not a soul. Not a soul.
Even including happy on New Year's itself.
Nobody.
Nope.
Happy New Year, Kirby.
Nope.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Look at the ground here. I'm not wishing you a Happy New Year. I don't do that.
Oh, my God.
I also got this. Don't forget Ukrainian Christmas tomorrow.
Oh,
That's right.
I've said this many, many times, and I've got listen. My slogan is "People got to eat."
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, if I didn't grow up in an Italian household, I wanted it to be a Ukrainian household because that food. And I'm a picky eater.
Yeah.
But every time they pop a new dish, and man, I'm telling you.
One of my favorite gifts that I brought back to Alberta was my cousin's having his first ever baby. And, well, he's not, his girl is. But I got them a little onesie from a local place here in Manitoba that says Little Pierogi, and it has a picture of a pierogi on the baby onesie.
That's awesome.
Aw.
That's a great gift.
One little pierogi isn't enough, is what I'm saying. Ukrainian Christmas.
no.
You can't put one on your plate.
I ate them because we had them. We serve them up Christmas Eve when we have everybody over. And so we make a whole bunch. And then there's leftover pierogies in our fridge for like 3 days afterwards. And it's like lunch and dinner.
I'm texting my wife right now, and I'm telling her we're celebrating Ukrainian Christmas tomorrow night. Big feast.
For more Philly, Joe, and Kirby, log it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.